With this season building up to Twilight ascending to ruler along with her friends of Equestria, basically as co-rulers, the question is, will Twilight become the next Celestia? And by doing so, will she become immortal and possibly outlive her friends? Or, because she's the princess of friendship and basically her overall ability is magic, will she be able to cast a spell, maybe potentially later on, to help make her friends immortal, but to the point that they do kind of grow older, or they do kind of grow older, but they don't, pass away. They don't pass on to the next life. Like, they'll grow to a certain extent where they show their age, but that's about it. You see, that's a very good question in theory to talk about. So let's do that, because I know someone like Dr. Wolf might even do the same thing. And by the way, this is uncut and on the fly. Now, it's no secret that, as I mentioned at the beginning, they're building up to Twilight becoming the new main ruler of Equestria along with her friends as co-rulers. But, as we see with Celestia and Luna themselves, both have lived for thousands of years. Luna, of course, has spent part of that on the moon, thanks to her becoming Nightmare Moon, but even after she returned, she resumed ruling by her sister's side. Now, obviously, everybody was kind of surprised by her change in design between season 1 and 2, but if you use the comic as part of the continuity, then the comic pretty much lets us know that it was during a similar event that she went through trying to save one of Twilight's friends from a similar fate, that she was able to grow into the Luna that we now know and love. So the question is out there. Will Twilight grow into Celestia status, size and all, but become immortal at the same time? And by doing so, will her friends share in that? Will they share in that immortality and that growth, or will she outlive them? I think, honestly, Twilight has been positioned to where not only can she learn magic spells here and there, but she can also, hold on for a sec, but also she can create new spells, or even improve on older spells. So who's to say that perhaps when Twilight ascends to being the main ruler of Equestria with her friends being her co-rulers, who's to say that, she won't down the line cast a spell on her friends that allow them to live immortal just like her, but the only exception is they will grow older and to a certain age to where they still maintain the appearance of being those young mares and friends that she met for the first time in Ponyville, but also have a look of growing and aging, but having wisdom and everything come along with it, which comes with rulership. It makes you wonder, because I'm not going to say anything, but there are images leaking about that are either, whether you want to believe it or not, either from the last episode or not, that show the main six, or the rest of the main six, main seven, if you will, as not only being older, but still maintaining a bit of that youthfulness that they once had. So it makes you curious, it makes you wonder if perhaps they will, they will become immortal and rule by Twilight's side on a just like Luna did with Celestia, but the only difference is their growth will come from aging to a certain extent, where they do show their age, but it comes with the wisdom and everything they've learned as rulers of Equestria and as friends. But they also maintain, as I put it, that same youthful look that Twilight got to know him as, and we got to know him as, back when the show first began and she first came to Ponyville. It would be an interesting route to take because, we don't really know how powerful Twilight will become, even as the ruler of Equestria, when it comes to utilizing her talent, her magical abilities. I mean, like I said, it's been proven that she's not only capable of mastering old spells and also improving on them, but creating new ones. So who's to say that she won't find a spell of immortality that she can thrust upon her friends, and with a few added, perks here and there, like they'll grow older in age, but like I said, to that point, where it's kind of like they still look as they did when she first met them, but they're also showing the age that comes with growing older, but having wisdom come along with it. Again, something to think about. Because the one argument a lot of fans don't want to get into, is, especially as the show comes to an end, is basically Twilight outliving her friends. And they don't want that. So, this is something to really, really think about for a moment. Is it possible that they could go that route? Or maybe they'll have Twilight cast a spell on herself to where when she gets to a certain age, even though she could be at that Celestia alicorn status in size and everything, that when she gets to a certain age, it'll be time for her to step down and her immortality will leave. And she'll become mortal again. Maybe also, perhaps, to basically she could be with her friends when all their times come to pass on to the next life. Again, it's something to really, really sink your teeth into when you think about it. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? What do you think of the direction, or the possible direction they could go in? Do you think with Twilight becoming the next ruler of Equestria with her friends as the co-rulers, that as she reaches that Celestia alicorn status, that not only will her magic grow, but it will grow to the extent that she'll be able to cast a spell of immortality on her friends that will allow them to live forever, but at the same time grow older to a certain extent that, like I said, still maintains how they looked when she first saw them, but also shows that they've grown with time, they've grown older with time, but also with that growth have also grown in wisdom. Or do you think she'll go the route of putting a spell on herself to where when she decides to step down as ruler and choose her successor, who I think we may, from rumors I've heard, speculation, we may find out down the line very soon, to be the next ruler. Who's to say that maybe she won't cast a spell on herself that causes her immortality to be gone, and she becomes mortal again, despite being Celestia alicorn, despite being the size of alicorn Celestia, if you know what I mean. But again, what do you all think? Do you think they might do that? Or do you think perhaps I'm just pulling straws here? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.